Hello guys, in this video we are going to talk about software development roadmap. We are going to see the best practices when it comes to software development. I'm also going to take you through 6 ways or 6 steps in which they can get you into a better developer or into a senior software developer. So let's get into it. So here we are going to see about the milestones, the best practices when it comes to software development, and also all the way from ideation to deployment and beyond to do with software development. The first step that we are going to look at is learning the basics of programming. The basics of programming, we have introduction to programming. Here in introduction, you can either choose the language that you want to learn, or you can either choose the language that you want to prosper in future. You can either try learning programming languages like Python, JavaScript, HTML, C++, all those basic programming languages that you can learn as a beginner. Then, after learning the basics, now you need to go to the next step. And the next step is basically hands on a project. Identify a project to work on. This project can either be a to-do list, a simple to-do list app, a calculator, or a basic website. And also this basic website can be take, for example, of Facebook and then try to implement your own Facebook. That's an idea. From implementing Facebook, then you are going to learn on different things: how to connect to database, how to create a post, how to like a post, how to comment, how to flag, and all those different features. Now, because you have learned the basics and you have built a small project, that means once you build one project, 2 projects, 3, all the way to 5 different projects, then you'll have accumulated a lot of skills, a lot of technologies that you learn, a lot of ideas that you learn from building these small projects. So I would advise you practice on projects. Another step that we need to consider in software development roadmap is that we need to learn Git, or we need to learn control versions. So in version control, we have different version control systems. For example, we have the main one, that is Git, that you can use or that you can learn. In Git, you can learn basic commands like the Git commit, how to do branching, how to merge, how to do pull requests, how to collaborate, and also how to learn different things. Then in Git, after learning the Git commands, that is the version control, then now you can learn about remote repositories. In remote repositories, this is where you are going to choose which remote repository do you want to use. Do you want to use GitHub? Do you want to use the big bucket? Do you want to use the GitLab? That means this is a crucial step when it comes to software development for beginners, for advanced level, for everyone who is in software development. They need to learn Git, that is version control system, or this version control. For that, you can track your application, you can collaborate easily with your team, or you can work as a team. And also this one can act as a backup for your code. Whenever you write a version of code and you want to retrieve the previous version of this code, you can easily retrieve the previous versions of these codes or of this application. That means learning Git or learning version control is a crucial step when it comes to software development. Another thing now that we need to learn, after you learn the basics of programming, you identify the technology that you want to learn. You build a small project, you learn Git on how to deployments and everything. The next thing that you can learn is basically introduction to backend development. This will apply for people who want to learn full stack or who want to be full stack developers. You can go to backend development, where you are going to choose different technologies that you can learn. Depending with the stack that you chose for your backend, you can either decide to go to another programming language, that is either Python to do with Django, you can do with Node.js for JavaScript, and other programming languages that you can use, the Spring Boot and all those different programming languages that you can use or frameworks you can use for backend development. Now, after you learn backend development, we have different concepts in backend development that you need to learn. Here we have examples of server-side scripting, learn how to integrate databases, learn how to create APIs, learn how to deploy APIs, the best practices when it comes to database development and integrations, how to create those APIs in the best way possible. That means this is another step that you need to take when it comes to software development journey. Now, after you learn all these basic things, that is front-end Git and GitHub, backend development, the basic technologies, now we can get into another important step that you need to take now as a person or as a developer that you are ready to do software development career. We have this thing that we call Agile methodology. Here in Agile, we come to understand different principles, different practices, or different benefits of this Agile thing. For example, in principles of Agile development, we have things now where we understand customers. For example, you are developing an app for a client. Now, for this client is always right, or the customer is always right. So you need to collect users' details or users' feedback from the client, and also any other requirement that this client might need. So this is an important step that you need. Yes, you know how to program, but again, you need to learn or you need to communicate to your clients, to your company that you are working with, for your company that you are building these applications to. So that means we need to take in practice in these principles of Agile development. So the first principle that we can look or we can make sure that we achieve is the customer satisfaction. Once you collect users' details or users' requirements or clients' requirements, make sure that you satisfy this client. Make sure that you also collaborate with this customer or this client, and from collaboration you are going to build quality software that can scale, software that can easily agree with the client, and also make sure that your apps are simple, the communication is simple, and also do some continuous improvement. We have also best Agile practices. For example, we have daily startups. Those are practice when it comes to startups. In startups, we have daily startups or stand-up meetings that people meet, that people discuss about features, discuss about ideas, and then they implement those ideas. This can be either daily stand-ups or can be after one day or after 1 week, but daily stand-ups on where you left yesterday, what you didn't manage to fix, what you fixed, what you think about the next steps. This is crucial when it comes to software development career or software development journey. We need these stand-up meetings because at some point you are working as a team. That's why you need these stand-up meetings. You brief the other, you make sure that everyone is in the correct or is in the right track. Also, in Agile methods, we have test-driven and development. Every feature that you create or every step or every milestone that you make sure that you test your application. Make sure that you test your software. This, by testing this software, it will make sure that you have limited or you have almost zero bugs that might be deployed or that might end up in deployment or in the live project. That's why we need test-driven development. Every part that you develop, maybe for a big application, test the application, test the software, and also engage your customer or engage users who are just using the app to test if they would like that feature or if they would like or appreciate that kind of feature that you are working on. And also in Agile development or method, make sure that you capture all the user stories, all the user journey. If the customer is satisfied or if this user you engage in this software development journey for this kind of software, make sure that you capture those user stories. They will help you maybe in future to see where you came from this software, to see if this story made sense at this point, and then now with that you can integrate different features of different requests from user stories, fix few bugs from user stories, and all that. And also, so that you can achieve everything in agile method, we need to have team collaboration. Make sure that you have a good team collaboration. Also, make sure that you better manage risk. You better manage risk through test-driven development, engaging your clients in every step, or engaging everyone or users in every step of this software you are trying to create. So make sure that you engage your users, make sure that you collaborate, make sure that you test your application, make sure that you meet with daily standards, and with all that in Agile, then you'll have produced the best software. Remember, you have learned the basics, you have learned Git, you have learned front end, you have learned backend. Now you are in the real world where you are applying for jobs, or you are doing the jobs, or you are actually creating your own app. Make sure that you engage the users, make sure that you test your application every step, every part of that. And that means you'll be able to create or produce quality software that can scale, software that can accommodate other users, software that people can like, fast or speed enough software that people can really enjoy using. And also, another practice that we need to have a skill is for testing our software security. Testing our software security involves different parties, that is securing your code, encryption, and authentication. Also, we need to make sure that the infrastructure where we are going to deploy our software to, or store, or the network that we are going to use is secure enough for our application. We have learned the basics: GitHub, backend, agile. Then we are in the final stages, that is deployment and also security. Make sure that your code is secure. How do you make your code secure? You basically make your code secure through validating of inputs. Make sure that you validate every single input. Validate the emails. Validate the password that they are being entered into or being typed into your systems. Make sure that you well validate if an email exists, or if an email is really an email that has been provided by email providers like Gmail, Yahoo, and all those other providers, or all those services. Make sure that is a real email. Validate all those emails. With all that, after you prevent your code, then that will secure you from SQL injection or cross-site scripting. Now, remember, your app can be storing different data or can be accessed in different ways. That's why you need to authenticate, or you need to authorize, or you need to encrypt some data. To encrypt for security, you need to incorporate things like the HTTPS, that is secure site, and also make use of the JWT, or make use of the OAuth for authorization or for authentication, and everything like that. And also make sure that the infrastructure where you are going to deploy your software to is secure, is safe. The network that you are going to use is safe. The servers that you are going to use, they are trusted servers. You can research the servers before you deploy your website too. You can make sure that you test the servers before you produce or you deploy your final build on those servers where you are going to produce, or you are going to store your code, or you are going to store your application too. Another way of securing these servers, you can avoid using your own local servers. We have different servers or different providers for hosting that you can use, or you can make use of to deploy your software to. These are softwares or are servers from Google, Amazon, Facebook, all those different companies that give you the hosting powers to host your application. Make use of those softwares, because we trust that they are more secure as compared to your server that you might set up in your room, or in your in your area. So make sure that you choose the correct servers, you test the servers, and also make use of the cloud services. Nowadays we have different technologies with different services that we can use. Instead of creating your own cloud service, make use of these cloud services that we have, the Google Cloud services. All those services, make use of them, because those cloud services are more secure as compared to you writing your own services. So make sure you use these cloud services, or advise for you to use these cloud services. Without that, now when you choose the correct servers, you use the correct network, the correct cloud services, then things like the firewalls, access controls, that will be automatically taken care of by these services, or by these big companies that they will provide you with these hosting platforms and all the rest. But one thing that you have to make sure is you test after you deploy. Make sure that you test your applications for security, all the way, everything. You can introduce bug bounties. People will search for bugs in your application, and then they help you fix these applications. With all that said, with all that roadmap given to you, that is a good start for you, or it's a good overview for you to start your career in software development. But in case you have not started your career, or you'd like to advance your career in software development, feel free to join progskill.com, where we have different mentors. We have weekly life coaching course where we teach you, where we take you through these different concepts, where we introduce these mentors. They help you, they hold your hand, make sure that we make use of correct ways of writing code, writing clean code, and everything that we tackle in our life coaching course. Make sure that to join progskill.com, and also make sure that to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more tips just like this. Thank you. See you in the next one.